It's a Golden Olive Bumble, but it's the deer hair hackled on the front one, so it's a lovely little pattern. Tying it in a size 8 short shank special because it's for one for a wave for the big loughs around mayfly time, so it's equivalent to a size 10 on the shank here. So I'm going to start off with some fluorescent red tying thread. So you probably want about an 8/0. Sometimes I use a 6/0, just depends on the deer hair. Don't want to cut the deer hair, so I don't. So the deer hair I'm using, it's a really nice quality blue. Pull off a nice pinch of it, and it's basically going to be replacing your blue jay, or some people use blue guinea fowl, on the front of the pattern. So get your comb out any fluff or basically waste bits that you don't want, or under fur, and then put your hair in your stacker and bang your stacker on the table, and hopefully your tips will be lined up. There's two butt pieces there that we didn't want. You can tease out anything that shouldn't be there, or if you spot any butts that shouldn't be in there like that, tease them out. Sometimes you get a piece of hair that just goes in backwards, so it's not bad at that. I think I see one more in there. Right, so it's looking better. So you're talking about the length of the hook shank, or slightly longer. You can play around a bit when you're tying them, see what you think. So make sure your thread is just up behind the eye of the hook. Go with a loose turn or two first, and then just work it around the hook, and then just tighten right down. And start bringing your thread backwards down the shank, like so. And we're going to remove all these butts. It's messy stuff there here. So get as many of the butt pieces out as you can. Then you want to just tidy up this area here. You could cut off at a taper, but I generally just cut them off fairly close, like so. That should just about do that. So I'm going to use this, it's a fluorescent red thread, so I'm going to use this under the tail as well, and on the head of the fly. So down around the bend a bit, and then work your way back up in touching turns until you get towards where you want to tie in your tail. Just going to drop a clear lacquer. You could probably use something got there. You could probably use UV resin as well. That should be okay. For the tail, I'm using a golden pheasant crest feather, just a natural yellow one. I'm just going to wet it, just find it makes it a little bit easier sometimes to tie it in. It's a bit long, so you're probably looking at in or around the length of the shank. Run your thread up there, and just trim this off at the butt of that deer here. For the rib, I am going to use some light gold wire in 0.20 millimeters. So 0.2 millimeters. And then just run your thread down. I'm just holding the tail here, so I'm going to try and keep it in the same position it was in roughly anyway. And get some wax. I'm just going to use Golden Bumble dubbing from the Frankie McPhillips Golden Olive Bumble colour from the set. I'm just going to dub that on. Just going to dub it on back a bit from the deer here, and then sort of slide it up the thread towards the hook, because I just don't want to catch the deer hair in it when I'm winding it, basically, or spinning it. So leave that on. You can gradually work it up the fly until you get up close behind that deer here. So I'm going to use 2 hackles for this. This one is a yellow golden olive. It's a bit long, so I'll probably need about that much of it. And this one here is a different colour. It's got a copper golden olive. They're both from the Rogan's range. They were both Rogan's Connoisseur capes that I bought one time. So I just found the length I want, and I've just trimmed off the stems, and I've left about 1 mil just for catching in. So I'm going to apply another shot of wax here just to help me get a bit of grip on these. So I get a couple of, and a few turns just to hope I get a grip. I want to wind them both together. Okay, so I'll probably get 4 or 5 turns anyway. That's 2, 3, 4. And then it's going to come round with my wire and drop those in. Bring up my wire rib. Just catch it a couple of turns either side and twist it off, which sometimes works easier than others. Got it anyway. And just going to remove these hackle tips. Find that yellow golden olive and the copper golden olive, so it makes a nice nice blend in the fly there. So I'm going to start pushing back my deer hair from the eye of the hook and just wriggle the thread through. Okay, so I got kind of a shape to it now. So just start building up ahead and just working on that deer here. So what you can do it then, one caught that I didn't want to catch. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to throw in a hitch. I'm going to get my brush. I'm going to brush this back. Just going to help keep all those fibres going in the right direction, and it'll sort of sit them down a bit as well. I know you can't see me doing, but basically just doing the same in the underneath of the fly. And you end up like that. Then just tidy up the head another little bit. And try my white finish tool. whip finish. Okay. That's it. You can add some clear lacquer then to that. And normally what I do is I add the lacquer and let it dry. Then if I want, I can come back after with some clear UV resin. But it is important to let the lacquer dry in because the resin might not set if the lacquer hasn't fully dried first.